Good morning, everybody here in person with us at Microsoft Campus in Redmond, Washington, and good morning, afternoon, or evening to everyone around the world joining us for the live stream via Learn TV. My name is Jesse McCulloch. I'm a senior program manager on the mixed reality developer ecosystem team. My job, and boy, do I really love my job, is to work with developers and make sure that they have all the tools that they need to come build on our platform. All the resources, everything they need to build mixed reality experiences. Today I want to talk about three kind of topics. I want to talk about change, I want to talk about growth, and I want to talk about opportunity and how it relates to you as developers in our mixed reality world. So first, let's talk about change. 2,500 years ago, a Greek philosopher, Heraclitus, made this very simple statement: the only constant in life is change. And change is really hard for us because we rarely know how it's going to affect us. We only have to look back at the last 2 years, and it's impossible not to acknowledge all the changes that have happened in that time period and that we've had to deal with and continue to deal with. COVID-19 has affected so much of our lives. First, and so easily at the top of our mind for this moment, is COVID changed the way we did events or do events. And we can look at our own event history to see that. In 2019, I stood on the stage in that next room over with 400 people in it and welcomed them to our first ever Mixed Reality Dev Days. I learned a lot about holding a conference in person, and we had no online experience. And then we fast forward to 2020, and COVID was deep in its midst, or we thought so at that time. And we were hoping that we were soon going to see the end of it. But we had to figure out how to do an event completely online. And so we figured we'd try it out in AltSpace, our own platform. And boy, did we ever learn a lot about doing virtual events in VR that year. And now here we are in 2022, still trying to figure it out. This year we're live. There's about 200 of you here in person with us. And last I saw, there's about 3,000 out on the web watching us on Learn TV. And we don't know what this is going to look like either. And so every year we've had to change and adapt to how we do this. COVID's changed a lot for us. It's changed the way we work. I used to drive up here every week from Portland, stay for a week, and drive home. Now I work remote and I come up once a month. We've had to change how our kids learn and attend school, from virtual school for a while there to back in person and everything in between. It's changed the way we travel. Oh boy, did it change the way we travel. I used to get to go on the road all the time, and now you have to weigh the risk every single time. And it's something we think about, and I'm sure all of you think about. A lot of you travel here. It's changed the way we do meetings. Microsoft, we're now remote first for all of our meetings. When I schedule something in Outlook, it automatically gets a Teams meeting attached to it. So when we look at these changes, we start to ask, how do we think about what working habits and tools look like in the future? And how does mixed reality play into that? How do we think about the way we educate moving forward in the future? How do we think about how we travel, or even do we travel in the future? Does mixed reality get rid of that altogether for us? Can we have those meaningful experiences? And how do we think about the meeting experience of the future? These are all questions that I am asked all the time. I'm sure you are getting asked these all the time by clients in the workspaces that you're in. So these are the kind of things that change brings to us in the form of questions and opportunities. So change is a constant in our life. and it's certainly not the only constant in our rapidly changing industry. Every day there's new innovations, new improvements, new frameworks, new tools, new hardware. And as hard as change can be for us, it can also be healthy. Change drives innovation, it drives improvement, it drives progress. So the question is, how do we embrace the change and prepare ourselves for it and not be so fearful of it? Change drives growth. John Maxwell says, change is inevitable, growth is optional. So it's up to us to lean into it. So I want to talk to you about how we've been growing in our mixed reality business, starting with HoloLens 2. We've been doing OS updates based on the inputs that we get from you as developers and from our customers about what's important to you. And device-initiated feedback is particularly important. This is when you run into a bug and you go into the feedback hub and you report it, and it gets sent back to us at Microsoft, and we get that log and that trace log. This is how we determine what things are really happening a lot, and so we can go figure out what we need to go fix next. We're running updates for the HoloLens, major feature updates every 6 months, have been since the day it released, like clockwork. Drives on, hasn't changed, isn't planning to change anytime in the near future. Minor feature updates and bug fixes are happening monthly. Every month we release patch on Patch Tuesday for HoloLens, fixing the bugs that you've reported, fixing the features that may be broken, and working to make this the best device out there for mixed reality, especially in our industries that we work in. And then if you're on insider builds, you're getting builds about every 2 weeks, sometimes more often than that, letting you test these new features, these new fixes all the time. So when we talk about our major feature updates that we've had, there's a couple I want to talk about, and we'll have sessions about them here this week while we're here. First is moving platform mode. Initially was made for large moving rigs that move slowly, like ships and oil platforms. The way the device works is there's an IMU, and then there's visual tracking. And when those work together, you get rock solid holograms. But when you're on a large moving platform like a ship, and the IMU senses movement, but all your landmarks around you stay the same, it gets really messed up. And we have a lot of customers out there who want to use HoloLens on ships, on oil platforms. And so they came to us with this problem. We started talking to them, figured out how to solve it, and moving platform mode is now available out there for the HoloLens 2. And like I said, we have a session on it. It's really cool. You see how we're using it for space. Even recent experimentations, we're seeing it in faster moving vehicles like cars. Last month, Volkswagen put out a blog post about it, how they're using it to kind of figure out what mixed reality in a vehicle will look like in the future. And the second major feature update I want to talk about is thermal scores. So when you're using the HoloLens and you're out maybe in a warehouse and it's starting to get warm, and you're in the middle of your remote experience or your guides experience, and all of a sudden the HoloLens shuts down, that's like the least ideal thing that can happen to you, right? All of a sudden you've got this device that's just not working, you're in the middle of a workflow. And we were getting reports of this happening more and more often. Or you're running a particularly compute-intensive process, and it's heating the device up, and then it shuts down on you unexpectedly. So our thermal scores is an API that allows developers to start monitoring that. And as those thermals start going up, you can figure out how to gently move your app into a less performant mode, scale down your field of view or whatever it takes. Just keep that in check, and so that you can continue to use the device and not just have it go totally south on you. Again, we've got a session on this for in-person, and if you're out there online watching us today, we'll have those sessions on demand here in a couple weeks, so watch out for those as well. And then we talk about scale factors, easier deployment and management by IT staff and departments, and increased sales of Dynamics 365 and remote assists and guides. Now, you may be a developer sitting in this audience saying, why do I really care that it's easier for IT staff to manage these devices? Why do I care that Microsoft is selling more of these out there, with their first-party solutions? And at first, it might not be obvious, but I'm going to tell you why. The easier we make it for IT staff and departments to deploy these, and the more we sell them out there, the easier it is for you to sell your solution to these companies that already have HoloLenses. Today, as a developer, you have a really tough job. Not only do you have to build an app that people want, but oftentimes then you have to go sell them your app and convince them to buy HoloLenses. Imagine if you were a PC developer 20 years ago and you develop an app and then you had to go sell a computer to everybody that you want to use your app. That's not how we do this in a scalable way. So the ideal way that we get around this is we start selling out to these companies with our Dynamics 365 remote assistant guides. And then all you have to do is go to these companies and say, hey, you already have these devices. I can add value to these devices you already have. So this is why our scale motions are so important. And this is something that we've been working on week after week, year after year, since we launched HoloLens 2. And next up, I have Azure Remote Rendering. I'm going to bring Andrew up to talk about that real quick. We've got a new feature, and it's pretty awesome.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here, and thank you for watching remotely. I'm Andrew London. I'm the program manager for Azure Remote Rendering. I've got a background as a developer. I still am claiming to have created the first .gov VR website until somebody proves me wrong. I'm sure there's something out there, but I kind of don't want to hear about it. I'm really excited to talk to you all, the developers here at Mixed Reality Dev Days. It's a great opportunity to speak to some of the improvements in the service. I think we've got some exciting things to discuss, so I'll just jump right into it. So Azure Remote Rendering released to general availability last year, meaning you can integrate this service with your applications today and expect the quality and reliability of Azure to power your app behind the scenes. Azure Remote Rendering allows you to render high-quality interactive 3D content and stream it to devices like the HoloLens 2 or desktop in real time. This lets you experience your 3D content with full detail and no compromises. We built ARR because every detail matters. Rendering with Azure allows you to go beyond the limits of edge devices. Usually they've got a small form factor or a limited power supply. So by rendering in Azure, you can get around that. And our SDK is really easy to use, and it makes integrating this functionality into your apps super simple. I'm incredibly excited to announce here at Dev Days that we're introducing point cloud support for Azure Remote Rendering. You can now take your point cloud files, and just like you would with a polygonal mesh, you can upload it, convert it, and render it remotely. We've added this feature in a way that requires no additional lift from developers. These point cloud file types are all handled exactly the same way as you would with a polygonal mesh file. You simply now upload your E57, .ply, .xyz file into your blob storage, and then you'd run the conversion as you would with the PowerShell script or using the art tool. And this will create the same output that a mesh would, that required .arr asset file. And then you can use either the SAS URI to reference it or load the model based on the blob storage ownership. So it's just ready and easy to go right now. If you wanted this functionality, you could just start loading your point clouds. In our private preview, we worked with developers to best understand the needs and capabilities of the service and what would provide the most value. And the thing we heard over and over again is, we want to render massive data sets. And so we've listened and we support up to 2.5 billion points on our premium service. This means you can take entire sites, super dense scans, or really large spaces and view them in mixed reality. The benefit here for architecture, engineering, and construction use cases are crazy. You can conduct asynchronous site walkthroughs. You could design future state on top of existing. For education, you could visit World Heritage sites, all with an insane level of detail. I've got a couple quick videos just to show the point clouds in action. You're seeing are the tree houses here on campus. I went out there with the LiDAR scanner just on Monday and did a 3-point scan of that tree house. And what was crazy to me when I was looking at this scan was how far out the LiDAR actually shoots. Like there's some trees way off in the distance that I was able to capture. And this was just 3 scans, kind of low bar, right? In addition to the treehouse, I went and captured the Microsoft sign out front. So I wonder if I can zoom forward to that a little bit. Bloop. Okay, we'll bring that guy up. So this is building 92 just outside. And there's the Microsoft sign. You're gonna see some ghosts. I'm not the best scanner yet, but it's incredible, the detail that you can get. And the big benefit here is the ease of workflow, right? When you convert from polygonal mesh, or when you convert to a polygonal mesh from some raw data source, there's artistry in that, right? When you decimate a model, you lose quality. And so by being able to take the raw output, shove that into the cloud and render it down, you don't lose any quality. And that's really what ARR is about. One last demo here to show. This is the Odyssey room. Now this was 43 million points. This was a little more detailed of a scan. I did 4 locations, but look at that room. It looks like the real thing. And this whole thing was created in about 15 minutes. So point cloud support and Azure Remote Rendering simplifies your workflows. It opens up new avenues and use cases. And it's just like insanely easy to use because you don't have to do anything. It's just there for you now. Just upload those files. So I'm really excited to talk about this. It's available today in public preview, making the announcement here to you all. And as well as tomorrow, we'll have a 50-minute deeper session in the Odyssey room at 11 o'clock. So come join us if you want to learn more about that and see some of the stuff live demoed. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Pretty awesome stuff. We were on the call last week, and Andrew's like, I'm going to come to campus and scan some stuff. I was like, sweet, we should go out to the treehouse. And then he went without me. Bum. Next, I want to talk about StereoKit. How many of you out here have used StereoKit before? A handful of you. Awesome. Nick's in the background. I hope so. StereoKit is an open source, OpenXR-based engine for doing mixed reality experiences. Super great for rapidly prototyping. It's C# based. It's code driven, not GUI driven, and allows you to do some really awesome stuff in a really short time period. If you haven't played around with it, I would definitely suggest checking it out. Nick's got 3 sessions going today. And I know I'm making life really hard because you're going to have to decide what you got to go see. Luckily, everything's being recorded, so we'll be able to make sure you get to see the things you missed. But Nick released a new version of StereoKit on Monday. Version 0.3.6 features asynchronous asset loading at runtime. So awesome stuff. Go check out his talks. Great presenter as well. Next, MRTK. MRTK is near and dear to my heart. I started out as a Microsoft HoloLens 1 developer, like many of you did. And at that time, we were really building the future from scratch. There was no toolkits when we first started doing this. And then Microsoft came out with this open source project called HoloToolkit. And it did really simple stuff that was really hard to do at that time because there was no tools. Things like being able to do voice commands and actually do text-to-speech and create buttons and UI. And it was rudimentary at best, but it was something that we could all join in on. And I know I started developing on it, and I started contributing to it, and lots of other people did too. Microsoft was working on it, and then the community kind of took it over, and they ran it for a long time. And then we came back and we decided it's really cool, but we've learned a lot how not to do things, and we needed a new version. And so next came Mixed Reality Toolkit. Changed the name, didn't change the namespace, added a lot of new features. It was super interesting, and we did that for quite a while. And then we looked at it and said, we can do this better. And then we had Mixed Reality Toolkit 2.0, which many of you are using today. We added more features for running stuff in the Unity editor. That way you didn't have to do this long build and deploy time. We added textures and shaders that made it more efficient to run for HoloLens. We added support for other devices and OpenXR, and it's just been growing and growing and growing. And today, we're going to be talking about MRTK3, the new version. And I'm not going to steal their thunder because there's sessions all day today and all day tomorrow about it. But it's super exciting, and you guys are going to love it because we've taken a lot of feedback from all of you and we've gone and rebuilt it again. I cannot rightfully come up here and talk about an open source toolkit without talking about the many contributors that have contributed to this. And unfortunately, we rebaselined when we went from HoloToolkit to MRTK, so I can only go back to when MRTK1 kind of came out. But there's 99 names up here. Some of them Microsoft, some of them from the community. But everything you do using MRTK is built on the shoulders of these people. And so they deserve a round of applause. And I know some of them are sitting in this room, and we're super grateful for you. And I'm super excited that as we continue to go on with this open source work, and we're just going to keep building it better and better and bring you right along with us. So I said I wasn't going to steal their thunder, but I'm going to steal their thunder. As I said, we're going public preview today. It's actually available now on GitHub and on the Mixed Reality feature tool, so you can go out and use it today. They're going to talk about all the different features, how to get started. We've got some great new tutorials and workshops that we're going to be doing for it. And I'm going to leave it at that before Grace gets mad at me. Available now. How many people in this audience know Yoast? Yeah. How many people have read his mini blog entries on how to do stuff that you couldn't figure out? Yeah, me too. Yoast is one of our mixed reality MVPs. He's been an MVP as long as I've been working in mixed reality. Really great community member. He has multiple apps in the HoloLens and mixed reality store. Walk the World, he's got a couple of them that show you the airport in Amsterdam. You can see planes coming and going. And he's built all these on top of MRTK and HoloToolkit and MRTK2 and now MRTK3. Every time we come out with a new version, he takes his apps and he upgrades it and gives us all kinds of feedback. And it's glorious. We love it. And so we gave our MVPs access to our private preview a few weeks ago. And as Yoast does, he went out and he upgraded his app and told me all about it. He gave us all kinds of feedback, his pain points, and we're working on that stuff. but he sent me a video. And this is his app, and you can see all the different stuff taking off from Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam. Paths. There's the Microsoft building. And this is all running with MRTK3. But you can't really tell it's running on MRTK3, which is one of the beautiful things about MRTK3, is we added theming support. So you don't have to make your app look like our apps. You can make your app look like your app if you want to. If you want to make your app look like our apps, we're totally cool with that too. We'll give you all the tools. But I was super excited when he sent me this video. Like I said, he's only had access to it for a few weeks, and we love all the work that he's been doing and all of our MVPs. If you're interested in becoming an MVP, come talk to me. It's a great program where we recognize community members who are out spreading the word, educating their communities, and it can be via going and doing talks or doing workshops or blogging or your social media presence, and we take a look at all the stuff that you've done, and then you get access. When you become an MVP, you get to get on mailing lists, and you can talk directly to us and get our engineers and our program managers. You get early access to features like MRTK3 and other fun stuff. So it's a great program. If you're interested, come talk to me sometime this week or shoot me an email. So we've been talking about growth, and growth is always awesome. And now we get to opportunity. And this is where it gets really exciting for you. It gets really exciting for me to talk to you about it. Innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity, not as a threat. So now we're bringing back change. Steve Jobs said this. So lots of opportunity for you today to learn about some new stuff. We've got our Azure App Consult team here with us. If you aren't aware of what they do, they let you come talk to them, and you can tell them about what you're building and sign up for some time, and you can have 2 hours of free consultation time with them. David's sitting right back there. He's raising his hand. They'll be here all week. They're going to be hanging out over in Nexus Normandy. If you want to go talk to them, get signed up, this is available to everybody, including everybody out there on the web. So go fill out the form, check out what they're doing. Great service, and it's super fun to be able to help you when you guys get blocked. We have a hackathon going, kicking off today. Running for a month, online hack, using DevPost, $17,500 in prizes. We're doing categories for projects using MRTK3 or StereoKit. So if you want to build something with MRTK3, this is a really great reason to go check it out. There's money on the line. StereoKit too. Go build something really fast. Build something that takes all month. Just go build something. We love seeing what you guys do. So for more information or to sign up, go to aka.ms/devdayshack. And I guess the really important thing is there's a theme for this hack. Nobody knows what it is except me and a couple other people. And we're going to reveal it to everybody right now. So the hackathon theme this year is a new way to solve an old problem. Not giving you any more guidance than that. You all get to figure out a new way to solve an old problem. So I left some questions hanging earlier about what are your opportunities. And I want to flip them. Instead of how do we, Microsoft, think about our working habits and tools, how do we think about education, how do we think about travel, I want to know how you think about it. Because you are the ones who are going to be out there building these applications. You are the ones that are going to be innovating. You are the ones that are thinking of the things that nobody's thought of before. So what can you build that we have not even imagined yet? I'm super excited to be here. I'm super excited to have all you here learning with us. And I hope you have a great Dev Days. And I'm really thankful that you're all here in person. I'm really thankful for our online audience that's joined us. And we're ready to move forward with you. And come join us and come build with us. And I hope that if you leave with nothing else, know that we're super excited to keep moving forward with this. We're not slowing down. We're not stopping. We're charging ahead. There's lots of opportunity here for us. There's even more opportunity for you. And the mere fact that you all are here watching us and joining us for Dev Days is just a testament to our community and everything that we can do together. So again, thank you for coming and enjoy Dev Days.